Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video we are going to discuss some of the most important MCQ questions on human disease, immunity and vaccination based on the previous year question paper pattern. So let's begin. The first question is, which of the following is a communicable disease? এর মধ্যে কোনটা সংক্রামকজনক রোগ? Diabetes, influenza, hypertension or none of the above. So among them, influenza is a communicable disease. It can spread from one individual to another. It is caused by influenza virus. It's a viral disease. Which organism cause malaria in human? মানুষের মধ্যে যে ম্যালেরিয়া রোগ সৃষ্টিকারী জীবাণুটা কোনটা? Plasmodium, Trypanosoma, Leishmania or none of the above. So in human being, the malaria disease is caused by Plasmodium. The causal organism of malaria is Plasmodium. So there are several species of Plasmodium, for example Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum. These are some common pathogens of malaria. Causative organism of tuberculosis is tuberculosis রোগের জীবাণুটা কোনটা? Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Streptococcus pneumoniae, Corynebacterium diphtheria or none of the above. So the causative organism of tuberculosis is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. AIDS is caused by AIDS যে রোগটার জন্য দায়ী হলো ব্যাকটেরিয়া, ভাইরাস, প্রোটোজোয়া or fungus. So AIDS is caused by virus, that is human immunodeficiency virus. HIV virus. Mode of transmission of rabies is rabies রোগটা কিভাবে ছড়ায়? By mosquito bite, by dog bite, by contaminated water or none of the above. So the transmission of rabies is basically through the dog bite. The vector of malaria is malaria রোগের বাহক কোনটা? Male Anopheles, female Anopheles, Aedes mosquito, Culex mosquito. So the main vector of malaria is female Anopheles mosquito that carries malaria from one organism to another. Which of the following is a non-communicable disease? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোনটা অসংক্রামকজনক রোগ? Typhoid, hypertension, cholera, influenza. So among them, hypertension is a non-communicable disease. It do not spread between individuals. BCG vaccine is used against. BCG ভ্যাকসিনটা কোন রোগের বিরুদ্ধে ব্যবহার করা হয়? Polio, tuberculosis, tetanus or none of the above. So BCG vaccine is mainly used to treat tuberculosis. BCG stands for Bacillus calmette-gorin. The incubation period of rabies is the rabies এর যে incubation periodটা সময়কাল কত? 1 to 3 days, 10 to 20 days, 1 to 3 months or 1 year. The incubation period of rabies is 1 to 3 months depending on the site of bite. Influenza virus affects mainly which organ? The influenza যে ভাইরাসটা সেটা মানবদেহের কোন অঙ্গে প্রভাব ফেলে? Brain, lungs, liver, kidneys. The influenza virus mainly affects the lungs, that is respiratory tract. Respiratory system. Malaria is transmitted through which form of Plasmodium? Plasmodium এর কোন রূপে ম্যালেরিয়াটা ছড়ায়? Trophozoid, gametocytes, sporozoites or none of the above. The sporozoites mainly the form that spreads the human. The plasmodium in the form of sporozoites spreads from one human to human through the mosquito bite. Which disease is caused by RNA virus? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোন রোগটা RNA ভাইরাস দ্বারা গঠিত? Rabies, AIDS, both A and B, or none of the above. So among them, rabies is a RNA virus disease. AIDS is also a RNA viral disease. So both A and B is correct. Koch discovered the causative organism of. Koch কোন রোগের জীবাণু আবিষ্কার করেন? Tuberculosis, cholera, malaria, or none of the above. Koch basically discovered the causative organism of tuberculosis, that is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This is the causative organism of tuberculosis. Which vaccine is given to prevent polio? পোলিও রোগটা প্রতিরোধ করার জন্য কোন ভ্যাকসিনটা দেওয়া হয়? BCG, OPV, DPT, or none of the above. So to prevent polio, OPV vaccine is given, that is oral polio vaccine, OPV. The symptom of malaria includes এর মধ্যে থেকে কোনটা ম্যালেরিয়া রোগের লক্ষণ? Fever with chills, cough, diarrhea, or none of the above. So among them, fever with chills is the symptom of malaria when the protozoa infects the RBC. Due to the breakdown of RBC, it releases a toxin known as hemozoin that creates the fever with a periodic fever during the malarial disease. Which mosquito spreads dengue fever? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোন মশাটা ডেঙ্গু ছড়ায়? Aedes, Anopheles, Culex, or none of the above. So among them, Aedes mosquito, that is Aedes aegypti. Aedes aegypti is responsible for spreading the dengue as well as Zika virus. It also spreads Zika virus, this Aedes mosquito. Which vaccine is used against measles? যে হাম রোগের বিরুদ্ধে কোন ভ্যাকসিনটা ব্যবহার করা হয়? MMR, BCG, DPT, OPV. এর মধ্যে থেকে ব্যবহার করা হয়, কারেক্ট আনসার হলো MMR. MMR basically stand for measles, mumps, and rubella. That is MMR. Which organ is affected by hepatitis virus? Hepatitis virus মানুষের কোন অঙ্গে প্রভাব ফেলে? Lungs, liver, brain, or kidney. এর মধ্যে থেকে hepatitis virus basically affects the liver. Which disease is transmitted through contaminated food and water? দূষিত খাদ্য ও জলের মাধ্যমে কোন রোগটা ছড়ায়? Typhoid, malaria, rabies, or none of the above. So among them, typhoid fever spreads through contaminated water and food, which is caused by Salmonella typhi. Salmonella typhi is the causal organism of typhoid. Which type of immunity develops after vaccination? ভ্যাকসিন দেওয়ার পরে, টিকা দেওয়ার পরে কোন ধরনের রোগ প্রতিরোধ ক্ষমতা গঠিত হয়? Passive immunity, active immunity, innate immunity, or none of the above. So vaccination induces the immune system to produce antibody, that is one type of active immunity. So vaccination basically provides active immunity. Which cell type produces antibodies? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোন কোষটা অ্যান্টিবডি তৈরি করে? B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, macrophages, or none of the above. So among them, B lymphocyte that secretes the antibodies. Which part of human body does Mycobacterium tuberculosis affect? The Mycobacterium tuberculosis, there is causative organism of tuberculosis. সেটা শরীরের কোন অংশে আক্রমণ করে? Heart, lungs, brains, or none of the above. So the Mycobacterium tuberculosis mainly affects the respiratory organ, that is lungs. Which of the following is a viral disease? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোনটা ভাইরাস গঠিত রোগ? Malaria, tuberculosis, influenza, cholera. So among them, influenza is a viral disease. It's a viral fever. Which antibody is found in mother's milk? মায়ের দুধের মধ্যে কোন অ্যান্টিবডিটা সবচেয়ে বেশি পাওয়া যায়? IgA, IgG, IgM, IgE. So IgA is predominantly found in mother's milk that provides passive immunity. Passive immunity to the baby. Which disease is prevented by DPT vaccine? DPT vaccine দ্বারা কোন রোগটা প্রতিরোধ করা হয়? Diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, malaria, typhoid, AIDS, TB, polio, measles, or none of the above. So DPT vaccine mainly prevents diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. So with that, we came to end of this MCQ solving session. So we will continue solve previous year question paper MCQ on different topics covering the different competitive exams. So do stay tuned for the similar type of updates and do share with your family and friends. Thank you.